Welcome back to Lemmings to the Tribes! We're now gonna do the second half of the Highland tribe. Brigadoom! No, I'm sorry, I was gonna say that's not even a Scottish accent, but I don't even think that's any accent whatsoever. So anyway, the first half of the Highland tribe was pretty easy, but this level is definitely where you're going to see that things are gonna start changing. First of all, you're probably noticing a problem with the rightmost side of the level. These lemmings don't really have any way to leave, so we're gonna have to send a lemming from the left hatch all the way to the right one in order to laser blast their way out of here so that they can get to the exit. So I hope that you've mastered the hang glider, because that's the only way we're going to get to the end of all of this. But yeah, you also definitely gotta peek all the way down, because otherwise they're just gonna end up in the drink all the way over here, and that's definitely not what we want. I mean, you could surf, but hey, what good a surfboard is if you cannot get to the shore? I mean, you will have fun, but you're still gonna drown. So now that we've had a preview on how to do the flight properly, now it's time to fan all the way down like that, like it's a giant peak of whatever the hell. And yeah, that's it for this one section, but yeah, make sure that you rope over these flowers. Why? We're going to see in a couple of levels. I'm definitely saving this little surprise for a little bit later. So this is the really tricky part of getting lemmings out of the jam in which they're in. In the left portion of the screen, you have to hang glider in the wall so that your lemming is gonna turn back, and then you surf all of your way over here so that you're going to be able to make it, and make sure that your lead lemming has enough of a lead so that you will be able to rope over the flower, because those flowers mean business. But yeah, this level is definitely a step up after how easy the first half of the tribe has been. I mean, okay, a mere stone throw could be problematic if you don't understand how the thrower skill works, and this is a level that indeed gave me a lot of trouble as a kid, but this is the first genuinely difficult level of this tribe. And since things got hard, might as well go all the way, in memory of McAngus. Who McAngus was? He was not a sandwich, he was some crazy bastard who just decided to shoot himself off cannons. Oh my goodness, it's happening all over again! We thought we were done with the circus, but the circus is never done with you! So anyway, this level is really mean. I have absolutely no other words to say about it. First of all, you have a very limited supply of skills in order to help you out in this one level, so you definitely gotta use every little bit of what you have carefully. You can make platforms, you can make walls, and that's about it. You have jumpers too, but it's mainly in order to stop your stacker from doing things, but yeah, now we've learned another lesson of this level. Do not let the cannons just rest right next to the blocks, because if that happens, then you're gonna highly regret it, because your lemming is just gonna be shot on top of the block and they're gonna plummet all the way down to their doom. But on the left, that was just the easy part of the level. Also, I clearly have not learned of my lesson, but okay, at the very least, we've seen something. A carefully placed cannon will shoot the lemmings on the springboard, and they will be able to make their way all the way to the bottom of the level, safe and sound. But yeah, now, if you keep the cannon this way, now we're definitely in a pickle. Because we have to start building immediately, or stacking immediately, and we still fucked up anyway because our wall was too low. It's pretty much like a constant dilemma happening all of the time in this one level. Your wall must not be too high so that your lemmings are not gonna be shot into the wall and they're gonna die, but then your wall also must be shot in such a way so that it's gonna make your lemmings turn the other direction. So now, at the very least, all of our lemmings are gonna stop dying, so we're just gonna save the 55 lemmings that we have over here, and we're gonna cut our losses and everything in order to see how do we plan the rest of our approach. And of course, it says every bit as long as painful as you think it is. Remember headache or swings and roundabouts? It's happening all over again. Be ready for screams of anguish of your lemmings being shot in a wall and everything. So anyway, we're having a pretty good grasp of this level, but yeah, we clearly need to do better. Also, that was a reasonably good go. Here's the message that, oh my god, get that cannon out of the wall! You clearly have not learned your lesson! I double failed and I can't even be mad about it because I fucked up everything from square one. Just, you have to figure out the... No! Stop putting the cannon up on the wall! Ah, okay, or maybe this is how you're going to do things, but I see a potential for failure here. Or a potential for something that clearly doesn't need to happen, so why did I even do that? Oh well, it doesn't matter if you cannot click fast enough in order to get your lemming to build a stacker anyway. So let's do this again, and hopefully I will learn my lesson this time. Remember when I was talking to you about that sweet spot whenever the lemmings will be shot out of the cannon and will safely land on the springboard? This is what we're gonna try to find again. Okay, that's the perfect spot. Over here, all of our lemmings are safe and sound. They don't have any kind of issues whatsoever, but we still need to do something with the other cannon, because otherwise we're not gonna make it in time. We need the two cannons in order to do something. Okay, there we go. Our wall is high enough. All of our lemmings are getting shot off the trampoline and everything. So here we go, level solved. Also, don't ask me why, but before I started doing my commentary for this video, this entire portion was not even fast forwarded or sped up. So yeah, instead of hearing constant cannon shots and everything and at least we get to get the pain out as fast as possible by speeding it up to 300%. Thank goodness for video editing. And now it's time for the White Heather Club. Okay, I kinda wasn't expecting that there will be like references to a TV show into the Highland tribe, more so considering that it seems that Lemmings 2 doesn't have nowhere near as many references as Lemmings 1 did, but yeah, it was a Scottish television show that aired on BBC TV all the way from 1958 to 1968. I really don't know anything about it, with the exception of the fact that apparently the Penguin TV Companion in 2006 voted it one of the 20 worst TV shows of all time, which is kind of an accomplishment. So back to the level itself. It's another one of these cannon levels, but at the very least, only one lemming gets to be shot out of the cannon. I tried to get the lemmings to be shot from the cannon into the little swinging chain that is all the way to the bottom right here, but it just doesn't work. You do need to have the lemming just normally fall down in order for that to work. Also, by the way, I was talking about the flowers earlier. These are not even like lemming eating flowers. No, they just fucking crush their lemmings with their bare petals. That's the strongest flowers that there ever been. Don't fuck with Scotland. Also, don't fuck with physics, because boy, lemmings sure hate to grab on chain. This is why I really don't like these chains. You never know what to expect out of them. Sometimes they just flat out don't work, and whenever you least expect it, it finally works. At the very least, the swing itself is very forgiving. There's a rock in the way so that your lemming is gonna be prevented from going back in the drink. But now it's time for some more action sequence. Yeah, you have to get the lemming to hop over here. Don't use a platform because you're going to need some of them later on in the level. But for this section, you definitely need to hop. The ledges are positioned in such a way that the hopping skill is gonna be efficient enough, and it's gonna save you the trouble of having to assign jumpers, which will be really painful, and of course you cannot jump over these gaps because the ceiling is way too low. Once that you reach this part, the rest of the level is pretty self-explanatory. We have a laser blaster, so obviously we're gonna have to shoot all the way up here in order to free everybody else. But yeah, of course, we have to use our second platformer here so that we can prevent the lemmings from going all the way where the pits are. And yeah, we're also gonna have to do something concerning the cannon because we do not want our lemmings to be shot at anymore. At the very least, if you put the cannon to the right, your lemmings are just gonna be shot nowhere painful or harmful to them. So yeah, you're just gonna have to fidget with the cannon in a way so that you're going to be able to get your lemmings to walk by them. Otherwise, well, you have jumpers. Don't use hoppers because you're probably never gonna be able to break free from it. Maybe if they have an accidental run-in with the pillar on the right, but it's very doubtful. Sometimes you can avoid getting the lemmings to detect that the cannon is here by using the conveyor belt, but it's kind of sketchy and pretty unreliable in overall. But at the very least, we can pretty much use a strategy so that we can only have one lemming have to go over the entire cannon over here by jumping over it. Which is good considering that we don't have a whole lot of jumpers. Yep, there we go. The only way in order to prevent the lemming from going over a fuse is to jump right over it. And that's it for the Whiteheader Club. The very least, it didn't take us 10 years in order to get through this level, so I'm sorry, but you're not faithful to the source material. Oh, now we're just reusing level titles from Lemmings 1. There was a level in Taxing that was called Take a Running Jump, and it was level 24 in Taxing. Apart from the name, however, this level has absolutely nothing to do with that other level in Lemming. It's a completely different beast, and to be fair, for being that late in the tribe, it's a surprisingly easy level. It looks intimidating with all of those really ragged ledges and everything that is all the way over here, but it's fairly easy. Your first lemming just gets to be a runner, floater, rock climber, and everybody just plays bagpipes in order to be busy. With that said, I'm fairly sure that's one of the earliest or the first levels in the game where we've had actually a triathlete. In Lemmings 1, we've had athletes where they had two different permanent skills all at once. Now we have 3 skills all at once on a single lemming. And to say that they're not capable of learning anything. So our goal all along was to reach the one little slope over here where the exit is, but yeah, we can't really have him go to the exit, so it's time to make him turn direction by assigning him Icarus wings, and you can steer him in the other direction. And here we go, we build a bridge in order to receive everybody, and that's literally it. Apart from assigning a whole lot of permanent skills at the beginning of the level, there's really nothing to this one. It's a fairly easy level, and it's kind of a relief level considering how hard the last level is gonna be. Because, oh boy, the last level, however, is gonna be a doozy. But in the meantime, you have definitely earned that gold standard successful rescue attempt. Yep, there we go, now the demo man is getting involved. Eat my shrapnel! They'll have to glue you back together! In hell! Yep, looking at those skills, you can tell this is one of those levels where lemmings are gonna have to die in order to get the gold medal, and boy is it really hard to get it despite knowing what you have to do, because it's one of those levels where everything has to be executed perfectly and the margin between success and failure is very, very tiny. In order to build our platform across the water there, we're gonna have to blow through this tiny wall up here between the steel walls. But how do we get there? Well, with a balloon as well, then, well, you know, an exploder. And usually this is what happens. You want the lemming to be as close as possible to the wall, but of course, the moment that happens, your lemming is probably gonna be dead. Now, that's about the best possible hole that you can have. Whenever this is done, now it's time to send another lemming toward the area. And the reason why we had to use a ballooner in order to do that and not a rock climber, which would have been much easier to detonate the wall, well, how are you gonna send your other lemming there anyway? And then you have to do this very daring maneuver where you mortar across the wall, but you land back on the wall or the hole that you just blew through. This is definitely kind of the big maneuver that we have here, and that's literally all of the level, because once that you get here, the level is over. There's not a whole lot to hit, but this very daring exploder that you have to assign is very annoying to set up. I really don't like to do that, but it has to be done, because who else is gonna do it? And once the platform is up, it's time for the bagpipes to stop resonating, because the Highland games are over. No more Scotland, they are free from their native lands, and therefore they will be saluted by their good old buddy, the Scottish Snake. So here we go, warn me, we lost a lemming, but that was unfortunately impossible to prevent. And yeah, he definitely looks really dignified. He kind of looks like, I don't know, a Scottish pirate. That probably will be the best representation of the Highland lemming. A Scottish pirate. Yarg! That was my attempt at a Scottish pirate impersonation. So here we go, we're done with the Highland tribe. So next time, you better strap up, because we're gonna go 60 lemmings to 0 in the Polar tribe.